Good morning, everyone. How are we? Monday, the 6th of October. And you're probably thinking, Buck, why are you on a Monday morning? Well, it's Charles's birthday today in Queensland. Is it the King's birthday anywhere else in this country or just Queensland, everyone? Let me know if you can hear me and see me okay, please, everyone. My God, have a look at yous. Have a look how many of yous are on already. You guys, all the Queenslanders, Jack Turtle, Nathan Schilling, Terry G. Terry was cheering loudly from Harvey Bay last night, he reckons. Good on you, Terry. Welcome home, mate. Good to be back home in Harvey Bay, I bet. Wixie's on. Now, you cockroaches, is it a work day for you guys today? Here and see. Thanks, Nathan. Good on you, mate. Marky. Oh, okay. So that time's in nicely. In Queensland, it looks like it's the King's birthday holiday. And Mark's saying it's Labor Day in New South Wales. So, all right, beauty. I was worrying that all the bloody cockies would be at work this morning and wouldn't be able to get on. Jimmy Nauman, hey, mate, how are you? Loud and clear and oaky. Good on you, Jim. Hope you're well, mate. Good to see you on. Yeah, so anyway, that's good, guys. I thought I'd only have the Queenslanders on this morning for the Jibber Jabber. I was going to do one yesterday morning, but I thought, no, I'd rather talk about the grand final on that. So I thought, it's public holiday on Monday in Queensland, so I might do one then. No, good stuff. We'll talk about the footy. Jennifer G's on. G'day, Jennifer. How are you? Hope you're well. Toddy Higginson. Who else haven't I said g'day? Logan, g'day, mate. Morning, Buck. Very sad for us Storm supporters this morning. Yeah, I bet. It's going to do one day. G'day, Gary. How are you, mate? Yeah, it's bloody. I know. Losing a grand final sucks, mate. My team, the Cowboys, we've been to 3 of them. We've lost 2 and won 1. So we lost in 2005 against the West Tigers, and then the Melbourne Storm beat us in 2017. Nathan Schilling knows how I take grand final losses better than anyone. I didn't take that one real well. But now I just try not to take the football too serious now, guys. Except State of Origin, I still get the shits when we lose that one. But we'll talk about the football soon. Gay Rowan, how are you, mate? Public holiday. What's that? Yeah, I know. Well, every day's a public holiday for me, mate. Every day's a public holiday. Hope you're good. Debbie, my word. Morning, all. Logan again. 2 in a row has a different feeling, but yeah. Yeah, Logan, I can imagine, mate. That's 2 grand finals in a row the Melbourne Storm's lost. But you know what? Craig Bellamy's been coaching for how long? And he's got that team to how many grand finals, mate? Like, incredible club, the Melbourne Storm. They're a fantastic. And you know what? If the Melbourne Storm won last night, I wouldn't have been too upset, guys. There's a lot of great players in the Melbourne Storm. It would have been good to see Cam Munster maybe win for his dad. He lost his dad this year, and I know that would have been in the back of Cam Munster's mind, is do this for dad. It didn't happen. Fairy tales don't always happen, but someone had to win and someone had to lose. It was a really, really good grand final. It was a fantastic game of football last night. We'll talk about it soon, eh? Joshy Hatch, g'day, Josh. How are you, mate? Down there in South Aussie. Saying g'day to Wixie. Good stuff. So we'll get into the King's birthday, guys. I had to Google this. As we know, it's the King's birthday holiday in Queensland today. What's that? The 6th of October. So it's the first Monday in Queensland. The first Monday of every October is the King's birthday. Why do we not celebrate the King's birthday on his actual birthday and the whole country just has one public holiday at a time? Surely having all different states having the King's birthday holiday at different times bloody has got to lose this. I don't know, if you do the economics over it, lose this country a lot of money by having every state taking different days off for the King. Charles III, guys, King Charles, we used to know him, us older blokes. We all were brought up with him being Prince Charles. When the Queen was in, we always knew him as Prince Charles. He's now the King, as we know. And his real birthday, guys, is the 14th of November, and he was born in 1948. So, yeah, the 14th of November. Why doesn't the whole country have a public holiday on the 14th of November? Or if it's that falls on a weekend, have it on the Monday or whatever, like we normally do. The whole country just has the one day off, and we all celebrate the King's birthday on the 14th of November. I don't know why we don't do that. It just seems silly that every state decides when they're going to have the King's birthday. Mind you, there'll be a lot of sore heads this morning in Brisbane, and I bet they're glad it's a public holiday this morning. So, yeah, so anyway, Charles was born on the 14th of November. My son Phil was the 12th of November, 1948. And this is something I didn't know. I wasn't aware that Charles actually served in the military. We always see him in military uniforms, but that's all the bloody pomp and ceremony stuff. But he actually served in the Royal Navy from 1971 to 1976, and he was actually a helicopter pilot. He flew Wessex choppers, Wessex helicopters. And as we know, his two sons, William, went on to join the Royal Air Force and fly Sea King helicopters on rescue missions and all that type of stuff, air sea rescue or whatever they're called in the Royal Navy. Sorry, he was in the Royal Air Force, I think, William, wasn't he? So he was a chopper pilot in the Royal Air Force, I believe. And Harry flew Apache attack helicopters in Afghanistan. So both his sons went on to fly helicopters too. And his brother, Prince Andrew, who has fallen from grace, hasn't he, with that bloody controversy he got himself in, hanging around with Epstein and that. But Prince Andrew actually flew helicopters in the Royal Navy as well, and he actually fought in the Falklands War, guys. He flew helicopters and was doing decoys for Exocet missiles and that, Prince Andrew. So they've all gone in there, guys. They've all gone in the military and actually flown helicopters, the royal family. So they've all done their bit. I didn't know Charles was a chopper pilot himself. I didn't know that about Charles until I Googled him up. Served in the Royal Navy as a chopper pilot from 71 to 76. There you go. So our king, guys, he doesn't just wear uniforms around and whatever. He's actually been in there and done it. So well done to him. I don't mind Charles. I don't think he'll ever be as popular as what the Queen was. I know the Queen, everyone loved the Queen. She was a fantastic monarch, but Charles, nothing wrong with Charles. He's a good man, I think. And anyway, he's got a good sense of humour too, I think. And I think William, I know if you're not a royal, I'm a bit of a royalist, guys. I don't mind the royal family. I think William will make a terrific king as well. When the time comes, I think William will be a terrific king. And then his son, George, will take over as the king one day. I may not be around for that one, but I reckon I'll be around to see William become king. But anyway, you're either a royalist or you're not. I'm one of these guys. You probably know, guys, I'm a royalist, and I don't mind us being a Commonwealth country and that. I don't want to see Australia become a republic. I think we're mad enough as it is, being a Commonwealth country. Imagine us becoming a republic and some of the lunatics that get in charge then. My God. Anyway, that's for a different story. We're not here to talk about that this morning. But anyway, happy birthday, Charles, for the 14th of November. We're going to celebrate your birthday today here in Queensland, and it's Labor Day in New South Wales. Righto, so let's get on to the football, everyone. And I'll tell you now, Paulie Martin's on. G'day, Paulie. How are you, mate? Ray Newman. Did I say g'day to you before, Ray? I'm not sure. Anyway, Peter Burke. Go the mighty Broncos. There you go. Berkey's a Broncos supporter. And we'll talk about the football. And if there's one city in Australia at the moment, everyone, that's celebrating, it is Brisbane. My God, they have done the trifecta, everyone. Brisbane has got the trifecta. They won the Aussie rules last weekend, the Brisbane Lions. They went back-to-back in the Aussie rules. And then yesterday, the Brisbane Broncos in the women's NRLW, the Brisbane Broncos played the Sydney Roosters. And that was a terrific game. Did anyone watch that? That was a really, really good game of football, close as well. And the Broncettes, guys, the Brisbane Broncos girls, They got up and won the grand final. And the Roosters must be spewing because they went through the whole season undefeated, only to lose the grand final. How many times do you hear that story in sport where someone goes through undefeated all year and then blow the grand final? That's what happened to the Roosters girls yesterday. Lukey Alexander reckons he pulled up rough this morning, ended up at the Breakfast Creek Hotel for the game. Oh, mate, the Brecky Creek would have been going off, Lukey. They wouldn't have been able to keep those bloody wooden kegs of 4X up to the crowd, I reckon, last night at the Brecky Creek Hotel. If anyone's been to the Breakfast Creek Hotel, guys, beautiful pub there in Brisbane, you will know that they do 4X off the wood there. Nathan Schilling, I'm sure you know about that one. They do 4X off the wood at the Breakfast Creek Hotel in the old original wooden kegs, guys. How good is that? Bloody good game. The Broncos women broke an 18-game run of the Roosters. Yeah, it was a fantastic game of football. I actually enjoy watching the girls' game. They go hard. What a beast. Number 3 for the Broncos. I forget her name now. She's a big Polynesian-looking girl with her short hair. She got woman of the match, man of the match. Every time she got the ball, she just carved them up. It was like she had funnel web spiders on her. They couldn't tackle her. She was a bit how's your father in defence. They ran around her a couple of times in defence, but when she gets the ball, she is a beast. She could mix it with the men, I reckon, that one. She is an absolute beast. And I interviewed her after the game in the dressing shed. She seems like a real funny character. And the girls love her and that. But, yeah, she had a really good game yesterday. And the other centre for the Brisbane Broncos, I knew I'd forget her name. I'll think of it in a minute. The number 4, she had a really, really good game too. And Robinson, I'll think of her first name in a minute. She's in the army, that young girl. She's a soldier and she plays for the Broncos, and she's also played for the Queensland State of Origin and Australia. And, so the number 4 for the Broncos yesterday, Nathan, that young girl's in the army, mate. Out at Enoggera, 7 Combat Support Service Battalion or something. And, she had a really, really good game. Had a fantastic. She's the one who ran the length of the field to score that try, and they pulled it back and was disallowed. A little bit of controversy yesterday when Broncos scored their final try in the girls' game. It looked like she may have been held up. Anyway, they awarded the try because there was no comprehensive evidence that they held her up. But if I was a betting man, I reckon she might have been held up at the end, that girl that scored the final try, the winning try for the Broncos. That could have been held up. But anyway, it was awarded a try. She didn't. Yeah, we'll talk about that, Ray. I bet that girl didn't have as nice a nails as Reece. Yes, we'll talk about Reece Walsh in a minute and his fingernails, guys. But well done to the Broncos girls. They beat the Roosters' winning streak. The Roosters must be disappointed. They going through all the year undefeated. They won the last 5 games against the Broncos, and the Broncos come out and did them in the grand final. But that was good. So the Brisbane Lions won, then the Brisbane girls won, and then we got onto the big game last night, guys. The Melbourne Storm versus the Brisbane Broncos. I did not think the Brisbane Broncos would be in the grand final this year. If you asked me halfway through the year when they were sitting about 11th, Reece Walsh was playing poor football. Ezra Mann was on suspension because of all the crap that went down with him. They were not playing good football, guys. They were on the big slide. It didn't even look like they were going to make the top 8. I don't know what Maguire, the coach, did, but he brought them back, guys, and they ended up winning the grand final, as we know. Reece Walsh didn't even get in State of Origin this year, guys. If you pick the Queensland State of Origin team right now, Reece Walsh would be your first pick at fullback, would he not? You'd have to put him at fullback. Like, you go, let's pick the team. Number 1, Reece Walsh. Don't even worry about Hammer or anyone like that. Reece Walsh at fullback, because the last few weeks has been outstanding. Absolutely outstanding, that young fella. My God, we saw what he did against Canberra when he got sent off for 10 minutes and then he came on, and that 20 minutes he just turned the game on its head. I think it was the Canberra game. And then last night, my goodness. And it wasn't so much what he did with the ball. What he did with the ball was very good. It was 3 big defensive things last night that he did. He ran down Pappenhausen, who looked like he was going to score. He stopped another try earlier on. And that last one, which would have sealed the grand final for the Melbourne Storm, when Eli Katoa cut through, and there was just Reece Walsh in front of him. Katoa, their number 12, their big second rower. Katoa cut through, had Pappenhausen on his inside. Reece Walsh, he's probably every fullback's nightmare. 2 blokes running at you. Do you take the bloke with the ball, or do you take the bloke without the ball? You go for the bloke without the ball. Katoa dummies, scores himself. Go for the bloke. No, go for the bloke with the ball, and just before he gets tackled, he pops it inside to Pappenhausen. Pappenhausen scores. Well, Walsh timed that to the millisecond, and he just stayed on Katoa, stayed on him, and it just looked like Katoa thought, he's going to stay on me, I've got to pass, and right at the perfect time, he left Katoa and went for Pappenhausen, and he stopped them from scoring. That was incredible, and he tackled Pappenhausen. That was a try. That was a grand final saver. That would have won the Melbourne Storm the grand final, that, guys, because I've no doubt Pappenhausen would have ran it around under the sticks and they would have converted to win. G'day, Bradley. Yeah, we'll talk more about that in a minute, Brad. Yeah, that was Mark will know what I'm talking about there. That is every fullback's nightmare, is having a bloke running at you with the ball and he's got a bloke in support. Do I take the ball? And the whole thing is always take the guy with the ball. Reece Walsh stayed on Katoa until the last millisecond he could possibly stay on him. And then just as Katoa threw, he went for Pappenhausen. It was perfect. If he didn't get that timing right, as I said, it would have been a dummy to score or a pop the ball and score. That was incredible. And he saved 3 tries in defence last night, Reece Walsh. So it wasn't so much what he did with the ball, it was his defensive efforts as well. Incredible game by that young fella. I went off Reece Walsh this year. I just thought him and Ezra Mam getting big heads and all the fame and fortunes getting to this young fella. He's starting to go, well, you know what? They interviewed him a few times after the game last night, and I thought someone has sat him down and had a dad chat with him, whether it was his actual dad, whether it was Maguire, whether Jonathan Thurston or Billy Slater, or I don't know who it was. Maybe a few different people have done that. My nose is running. Someone's had a dad chat with that young lad and said, mate, you're a good player. You're going to be one of the greats, but you need to be humble. You need to pull your head in and stop acting like a bloody twat, as they say in the UK. So, and he's done that. I think he stayed very, very humble last night when he was being interviewed and all that type of stuff. And no, good on him. He had a wonderful game. He deserved the Clive Churchill medal. I think he was a standout last night for the Broncos. Tell you who else played well for the Broncos. Well, they all played well. Payne Haas, incredible. They're 2 wingers, Dean Mariner and the other bloke who I can't think of his name at the moment. The 2 Brisbane Broncos wingers had great games. They were fantastic, especially Dean Mariner. He had a really, really good game, Dean Mariner. He wouldn't have been out of place getting the Clive Churchill last night, Dean Mariner. He did everything right as a winger. Not a winger you think, who's your top wingers? You wouldn't put Dean Mariner up there, but I tell you what, him and the other lad, both Polynesian lads, they had great games last night for the Broncos. Payne Haas was strong again. Paddy Carrigan played well. Just incredible. It was a really, really good grand final last night. I felt sad for Cam Munster and Harry Green and the Melbourne Storm, Craig Bellamy, and that losing 2 grand finals in a row. As I said, if the Storm won last night, I would have applauded them. Guys, I didn't have a horse in that race. You know, my horse is still running. He's back in 13th position or something, the old Cowboys. But great game last night. I like both teams. They're both full of Queensland State of Origin players, as we know. That's just incredible. Storm had, was it Jack Howarth or Liero? Howarth or Liero. They lost one of their good players early in the game, and he didn't come back in that. But anyway, it is what it is. Harry Grant, very, very gracious in defeat last night on his speech. Harry Grant, he has got a good level head on him. That's how Reece Walsh needs to be. Harry Grant is a humble, just a well-educated young lad. Terrific player, and I thought his speech as the losing captain last night was very, very good. Well done to Harry Grant for that one. Another guy I heard a fair bit of last night, and you don't see him on a lot of interviews, Adam Reynolds, guys. What a down-to-earth, humble man he is as well. Good family man. He's got 3 girls and a boy. He got older. His 2 girls are like, they're teenage girls and that, so they're not little kids. Adam's a dad of 4 kids, and they interviewed him with his kids last night, and what just a bloody nice guy, Adam Reynolds. I haven't really seen a lot of interviews with him, but I thought, once again, very humble in victory. Be humble, not big note himself. Very, very, very good. Benny Hunt, he's always pretty humble, Ben, isn't he? And 10 years after that terrible drop ball that saw the Cowboys win the grand final against the Broncos 10 years ago, Benny Hunt came back and had a victory with the Broncos 10 years later. So it was a fantastic game last night, everyone. I really enjoyed it. I think you don't get as nervous when you haven't got a horse in the race. You can sit back and enjoy the game a bit more. And I thought the Storm were going to win there at one stage. I think the Storm looked too strong, but the Storm had more ball in the first half, and that's why they were winning. But I said to Roz at halftime, I said, the Bronx have got to stop kicking the ball early and giving the Storm the ball. They were kicking on the second tackle, and that wasn't working for them. Anyway, the Broncos had more possession in the second half, and they ended up winning. So you've got to control the ball, everyone. The Storm made a few uncharacteristic mistakes. Saw Craig Bellamy shaking his head. He kind of, you don't see the Storm make that many mistakes during the whole year, but they dropped the pill a bit last night, the Storm. Nerves, maybe. Maybe the nerves got to them. It's a big thing, the grand final. The nerves can get to some of the players. But anyway, well done to the Broncos. They got the trifecta, guys. They got the Aussie rules, the women, and the men's. And that city will be celebrating because bloody all 3 teams got through and won the grand final. So Brisbane's on top of the world at the moment. They're probably thinking, up you, Sydney, Melbourne, and all the rest of the cities. Well done, Brisbane. That was a great grand final. I won't go down as the best grand final ever, but it certainly go down as a very, very good grand final. It was a good close game. And as I said, when Ali Katoa cut through and had Pappenhausen on his inside, if they scored then, Melbourne were going to win the grand final, guys. And Reece Walsh pulled off that tackle on Pappenhausen. He just knew. And not long before that, Pappenhausen cut through and Reece Walsh was the one who caught him and mowed him down and stopped that try. So anyway, absolutely fantastic. Brad's having a chat with Brad. Can you please let me know the name of the horse Reece Walsh be rewriting in the Melbourne Cup? Yeah. If Reece Walsh rode a horse in the Melbourne Cup, you'd be putting money on him, wouldn't you? Because Reece Walsh has had a wonderful month during the semi-finals. He has really stepped up to the plate and shown just how good he can be. He's not a big guy, Reece, but he's fast. He's gutsy. For a bloke who paints his fingernails, guys, he's not scared. He gets in. He runs hard. He puts his body on the line. He's a good young footballer, that lad. And his little girl's cute, wasn't she, at the end of the game? He had his little girl with him and that. And I think, he's a young father too, so he needs to stay humble. He needs to stay grounded. And when they interviewed him last night. He said, I haven't had a drink all year. He said, I haven't been on the alcohol all year and that. So good on him. He's obviously, someone's had a word with that young fella and it's working because he's doing really. I hope he stays grounded again. Ezra Mam needs to put all that shit behind him and stay a bit grounded and put all the bad stuff behind him. He did some silly stuff throughout the year, didn't he? Had that car crash while he was drugged up and all that, nearly killed someone. Needs to put that behind him now and concentrate on getting his life back on track and his football back on track. They look better when Ezra Mam came on last night, didn't they? They need him on the field. He provides some spark, and when him and Reece Walsh combine, they look really, really good, the Broncos. Anyway, well done to the Broncos. It was good to see Penrith not winning another one. It was starting to get a bit boring, wasn't it? Penrith winning all the time. Don't worry, Penrith, they'll be back again next year. They're a good team. They'll be up in the semis again next year. So I guess all I can do now is look forward to the cricket season. It was like watching grass grow. I don't mind the test match. Who's coming out this year? Is it India coming out? Who's coming out for the tests this year, Mark? Para 2026, Mark reckons. Yeah, now it's over. We can all start worrying about our own teams again. I don't know about the Cowboys. I'll tell you who the Cowboys should be looking at signing is Tui Kamakamitha, the big Melbourne Storm prop who played a good game last night to Big Tui, the big Fijian lad. He's off contract. And if I was the Cowboys, I'd be throwing some money his way. He is a good front rower, big bloody fit guy. We're losing Jordan McLean, who I thought was a little bit lazy for the Cowboys, but Big Tui, we need a front rower. I'd like to see the Cowboys pick him up for next year. Throw some money at Tui Kamakamitha, everyone, the big Fijian guy. Get him up to the Cowboys. Selwyn Cobbo, who, has gone from state of origin to not even making it in the Broncos team. Apparently Selwyn, everyone, who's a fantastic player when he's on his game, he's going to Roz's Dolphins next year, apparently. Apparently Selwyn signed with the Dolphins. So the Dolphins are going to get even stronger again next year, which is fantastic. So anyway, bring on, as Mark said yesterday, I missed the footy already. Bring on the footy season. Bring on next year's footy season. As soon as you have the Indigenous Maori game next year in late February or whenever it is, you think, thank God, footy season's just around the corner. Footy season's starting again. So, which is fantastic, isn't it? So anyway, I might change my live feed timings back to Friday or Saturday nights, guys, now and do some nighttime stuff. The reason I do them on Saturday morning or Sunday morning normally is because people want to watch the football Friday, Saturday nights and that. So anyway, Rowan Martin reckons Parramatta's turn next year. We'll see how they go. Or the Dolphins. Rowan goes for the Dolphins. Roz goes for the Dolphins. Chase Muller. Knights 2046. I'll pay that one, Jace. That's funny. Oh, and the bloody Wallabies got done. Lauren and Buzzy went up from Busselton to Perth to watch the Wallabies All Blacks game, and the filthy All Blacks did the Wallabies again. The Wallabies, they just don't know how to beat the All Blacks, do they? It hasn't happened since John Eales' day. We do not know how to beat the All Blacks. If we were going to beat the All Blacks, we should have done it in Perth, but we weren't good enough. Lauren and Buzzy went up there. Buzzy, Lauren's partner, is a filthy All Black supporter. He's got Kiwi blood in him, Buzzy. His mum's a Kiwi. I think Buzzy goes for the All Blacks. Lauren's a Wallaby supporter, so it would have been an awkward drive from Perth back down to Busselton. So Lauren, give Buzzy the silent treatment because the All Blacks beat the Wallabies. So anyway, Buzzy and Loz went up to Perth for the night and went to the beautiful Optus Stadium. Is it Optus Stadium, I think, over in Perth there, and watched the Wallabies and the All Blacks. So that would have been a good game. All Blacks, it was 28-14 or something, I think. Anyway, it didn't mean much because the Springboks guys won the Four Nations. The Springboks lifted the trophy. They finished on top of the ladder. If you didn't know, it was South Africa, New Zealand, Australia, and Argentina in a four-way kind of competition there. And I think the Springboks ended up on top and lifted the trophy again. So they're good, the Springboks, even though I think we beat them, didn't we, in the first test against the Springboks? The Wallabies actually had a win against them. But anyway, not much else we can do. Well, that's it for the footy, guys. That's it for footy season. But we've still got the Pacific thing coming up. That's always good to watch, isn't it? Especially when Samoa take on Tonga. That's a cracking game. New Zealand and Australia, PNG, Fiji. I think that's still coming up. And then the Kangaroos, I think, are going, Mark, correct me if I'm wrong, mate. The Kangaroos are going over to play best of 3 test matches against the Poms. I think the Kangaroos are going over to England. So, going to do one day. India and England, and Virat Kohli is not coming out to stir up trouble. Kohli's not coming out on this one, eh? Is he retired or what's going on with Kohli? Yeah, he's a bit of a shit stirrer, Kohli, isn't he? He's but that's what you want in a bit of test. You want a bit of niggle. You don't want it all friendly. And Kohli, and he gets under the skin of the Aussie team, and that I like it. I like a bit of niggle in the cricket. It's good because it can be a bit of a boring game, but when they get a bit of niggle in there, it makes it more exciting. So, yeah, Kangaroos are tour in the UK. Well, I think you'll find Tedesco has said that he's not available for the Kangaroos. So you'll find Reece Walsh and Dylan Edwards, guys, will be on the plane to England as our fullbacks. Both very, very good fullbacks. But how could you leave Reece Walsh out of the Kangaroos at the moment? Give him a green and gold jersey. Good on him. He deserves it. He really does. So let's hope we go over there and get into the Poms. We'll see how we go. That'll be interesting to see who Kevin Walters chooses in the Kangaroos. I'm not sure when they're naming the Kangaroos team. But anyway, the only reason New Zealand hasn't made it to the moon, they can't build scaffold that high. As we know, most of your scaffolders around the cities are all big Polynesian lads. Scaffolders. I'll pay that one, Rowan. Yeah, a lot of your scaffolders, which is a bloody pretty hard job, guys. They know what they're doing. All the scaffolders are all Kiwis and Polynesian lads. Yeah, you got to be fit to do that job. Let me tell you, being a scaffolder, those guys bloody whack that scaffolding up around the side of buildings and all that. They're pretty good at what they do, let me tell you. So, yeah, they're always Polynesian lads, aren't they, in their high-vis gear. Oh, Kohli retired, Jay said. Oh, well, there you go. Yeah, he'll be a big loss for India in the cricket, I think. But as I said, he used to get under the skin of the Aussies. But anyway, what did you do for your rugby league yesterday? I did some chicken wings in the Weber, and I did the chicken wings, and then I put half into one tray, half into another, and I put a honey barbecue sauce, Sweet Baby Ray's brand honey barbecue on one set of wings and put them back in the Weber, and the other one was just your buffalo sauce. I preferred the honey barbecue was nice, and the stuff that Gidgey got was a cherry barbecue. That was bloody beautiful, that stuff. If you can get your hands on a barbecue sauce, guys, and it's got a cherry flavour to it, that is absolutely beautiful on chicken. It really is. Anything with a cherry flavour. Rowan saying the FIFO camp had roast lamb and chook for the state of origin. Yeah, we had the Weber, and then I just cranked up the 4-burner barbecue and just the flat plate, or the griddle as the Yanks call it, and just did up some sausages and some little baby meatballs and some onion and some lamb chops. Ros likes her lamb chops, and we just had that before the game last night. So, yeah, you got to have a barbecue for your grand final weekend. I think it's a must. Barbecue and a few beers, make a day of it. And we watched it down on the big screen in the back lounge room. So it was good. Really enjoyed it. So anyway, Ros has got a couple of brothers, Vinny and Paddy. Paddy actually played for the Broncos back in the early 90s, had about 14 or 16 games for the Brisbane Broncos. Pat Savage. So a couple of Ros's brothers will be very, very happy that the Broncos won. I think her other two brothers might be, I'm not sure who Jerry goes for. I think big Richard Richard goes for the Cowboys. I'm pretty sure Rich is a Cowboys supporter, but I know Vinny and Paddy definitely go for the Broncos because Paddy played for the Broncos. So, yeah, anyway, well done to the Broncos. Good stuff. And the Broncettes, the girls, and also to the Brisbane Lions. They got the trifecta, Brisbane guys. Wow, that city must be pumping at the moment. They must be pumping at the moment. So, speaking of Brisbane, I better get off my ass and book a flight and some accommodation down there for the AC/DC concert in December. I'm going to stay down there for about 3 nights, and then me and Ken are going to drive home, everyone, from Brisbane to Townsville in Gidgey's Raptor. So I'll get to see if I can get up to 200 on the Bruce Highway, dodging potholes in Gidgey's Raptor. And if we get any speckles of dirt on it, we'll have to probably call in about 18 car washes on the way home and wash it, because that thing is not allowed to get dirty, everyone. Gidgey, you won't have that. 3 p.m. kickoff. Yeah. How was the trip down south? Yeah, really good, Rowan. We had a fantastic time, except for the BT50. The old gearbox, it finally played up on me, everyone. Something's gone in 6th. Anyway, I'll give you an update on the gearbox in a minute. The UFC yesterday was spot on too. Someone finally knocked out a Dagestani guy. Well, I tell you what, those Dagestani blokes, they're good, aren't they? They are very, very good. All those UFC fighters from Dagestan are run by, I don't know what their names are. What's Khabib started it all off, and then there's been a few after him. They're good, those guys. So anyway, one of the guys from Dagestan. Anyway, I'll probably see that on YouTube, mate, and check that out. Tony Purdy's on. G'day, Tony. How are you, mate? Hope you're well. Yeah, so Rowan, the trip down was really good, mate. We had a fantastic time. We went down the Bruce Highway as far as Maryborough, and then we cut in at Tyro, mate, and we went inland then, and we did country towns on the way down and then on the way home too. And we really enjoy staying in, like, behind pubs or showgrounds now. Me and Roz said, much prefer to stay at the showgrounds than caravan parks now. They're good, the showgrounds. You usually get power and that. They're a lot cheaper and you're not as cramped in at showgrounds either. And you got power. There's usually a hot shower around. That's all you need. And if worst comes to worst, you got a bloody hot shower in the caravan anyway. So yeah, no, we had a great time, mate, except 6th gear played up. And you shouldn't tow in 6th. I always said that, but the BT used to do it easy, but the gearbox didn't like it. That gearbox in my BT50, everyone, or our BT50, has never, ever been a good gearbox. Never been smooth. It's the gear lever or the gear stick vibrates in 5th gear. It's been vibrate for about 12 months in 5th gear, and especially when you're towing the caravan, you got to hold your hand on it because there was a bad vibration. They tried to nut out that problem. Anyway, on the way home, I put it in a 6th on flat. I don't ever put it in 6th going up, but when it's doing it easy, I used to put it down in the 6th so it didn't rev so high, and she made a funny noise. Anyway, I'm up for about $6,500 for a new gearbox, everyone. It's just the way it is. Mechanic got back to me the other day. He said, mate, looking at a reconditioned heavy-duty gearbox, and he mentioned heavy-duty. He said it's a Ford Ranger gearbox because that's what the BT50 is. It's been rebuilt with heavier components, heavier splines, 5th and 6th cogs have been beefed up in it, so it's a heavier-duty gearbox than what your standard Ranger gearbox is, guys. Yeah, BT50 or Ranger. So it's got bigger cogs. He said, still don't. Anyway, that $6,500 is for the gearbox that's been rebuilt with heavier components inside, a new rear main seal, labour, and oil, obviously, to go in the gearbox. So that's and fitted. So $6,500 fitted for a new heavy-duty gearbox. So that's what I'm up for, guys. I've got to bend over and cop that one. I've got to bend over and cop the pineapple because it's coming my way. I've got to do it. I can still drive around town and that, guys. I can still drive in fifth gear. You know, if I didn't have that money, I could still probably get around. But when I'm in fifth gear, the gear stick vibrates. There's something wrong inside the gearbox. There's definitely something wrong in there now, especially with sixth gear. I'm getting it taken out, getting a new heavy duty gearbox put in. $6,500. Mind you, that form there, declaration for exemption of GST on car parts. Because I'm a Veteran Affairs Gold Card, guys, I'm GST exempt on new cars and car parts. So I'm going to put that form in and probably get 10% off the price of that. So I may get, I don't know, whatever the gear, say the gearbox is $5,000, I might get $500 off that with the GST exemption. So that one there, because of the level of my gold card, guys, I'm GST exempt. If I buy a new vehicle, I'm exempt from GST on a new vehicle. And I can do that every 2 years on a new vehicle. So if I ever buy a new vehicle, me and Roz, I'll be entitled to get GST exemption on it. So that's a big saving, isn't it? Me and Roz come to the conclusion. This is Barry the BT50. This is his first ever big repair bill. Yeah, he's been good, you know. Like I've had to put a new alternator on him, a new starter motor. These things, you know, and the rest of the stuff that's gone wrong with him has just been servicing. Nothing's really gone wrong with this. Is the first big major thing. It'll be the last, because if anything else major goes wrong with that car, that'll be the end of it, because I'm not going to get to the stage where you keep pumping money out on something. I'll piss it off. So, Barry, start playing the game now. You're going to get a nice new heavy-duty gearbox in you. You better start playing the game. No more funny games. Keep you maintained. Keep you serviced. Look after you. So, hopefully I'll get a lot more now that the gearbox is done. So, there I am there. Bradley, $6,500 for an upgraded heavy-duty gearbox with, I don't know, bigger bloody splines, fifth and sixth cogs are heavier duty. And he said, still, I wouldn't recommend towing in sixth. So I'm just going to have to tow in fifth now, guys, when I've got the caravan on. The garden trailer, obviously, sixth gear won't worry that. But the caravan, just tow in fifth. And I found on the way home, the engine ran cooler when I was towing in fifth. Even though I was revving higher, the fuel consumption, I think, may have been a little bit better. Maybe it's not working as hard when it's not in sixth. And the engine definitely ran cooler, because I've got the engine guard on that Brad put on there, guys. And it definitely, when I was in fifth, it just ran in the 90s. When I go to sixth, it goes up over 100. So definitely ran cooler. Ray Newman's 6.5's reasonable. Well, that's fitted, mate. That's fitted with a rear main seal, oil, labour, the gearbox, the upgraded gearbox, and that hasn't. Hopefully, I'll get the 10% GST exemption on that, so I'll be even cheaper than that. So I'll be going to see my mechanic tomorrow morning with that in hand, all filled out, and go, mate, whoever you're getting your part off, fax that through to them, because I'm GST exempt on car parts because of my Veteran Affairs Gold Card. So anyway, we'll see how we go. Currently running 99R50 Pete McMurtry Pathfinder with 250 on it. It's been very well looked after and purrs along effortlessly, towing our camper trailer. Yeah, I don't know. Why did sixth gear go? Was it because I was towing in sixth? I've had Crazy Dog. Crazy Dog just did his gearbox in his Ford Ranger, everyone, which is a couple of years older than my BT. Same car, same gearbox. Crazy just had to buy a new gearbox. He went to Gympie Wreckers and got one from a Wreckers. And when the mechanic went to fit the new gearbox into Jace's bloody BT Ford Ranger, it had a cracked bell housing. So Jace then had to go through trying to get his money back from this Gympie Wreckers, and it turned into a nightmare for him. And seeing new cars broken down on the road. Yeah, well, I saw a very, very modern Ford Ranger going on the back of a tilt truck at Narrabri Showgrounds. Old couple pulled up next morning, flatbed came in, and it was one of the new V6 Rangers going on a flatbed. Tell you what, I like this Super Duty guys, the Ranger Super Duties. They excite me, but what doesn't excite me about them is they're still running that V6 3-litre engine, and they've been having problems with them. And the Super Duty's coming out, which is incredible. Upgraded diffs and, 4.5 ton towing, 4.5 ton GVM and all that. The Ranger Super Duties comes with a lift, comes with all-terrain tyres. You don't have to do anything to it. It's ready to go. But it's still got that 3-litre engine in it. But you speak to Elvin, guys, who's got the V6 Ranger. He loves it. He said it tows his van beautifully. Phil Taylor's got the V6 Ranger. He's got the Wild Track. I went for a drive and he said, mate, and he put his foot down and it's got some get up and go. And he said, when the van's on the back, it does the same thing, mate. The van doesn't slow it down. So those V6 Ranger engines have got some get up and go. That's the same one that's going in the new Ranger Super Duty, everyone. So anyway, we'll see what happens. Will Buck and Roz be in a Super Duty? All I've got to do is find $100,000 somewhere, and I probably will be. Anyway, I'll sit back for a while and see how they go. It's the first of they always say you should never buy the first model of anything, which is what my BT50 was. That was the new Gen 2. Remember when they went to that? But it's been good. That BT50 has been a good vehicle for us. It really has. Anyway, I'll get the new gearbox put in, and hopefully we'll get another bloody long time out of it before anything else goes wrong with it, guys, because I don't want to keep coughing up $5 and $6 grand to be doing repairs on it. But anyway, the gearbox went on it, and it was a well-known problem. If you Google it, that bloody Ranger gearboxes, the manual gearboxes, had problems with 5th and 6th gear. Obviously, the cogs were too small on it and not heavy-duty enough. So the gearbox I'm getting has been upgraded with heavier-duty components inside, and they've definitely upgraded 5th and 6th cogs, and the Matthew said heavier-duty splines and all that type of stuff. Buck will be locked in the bedroom to keep him out of Kings. Terry, I hadn't been in Kings for a few weeks. I've been very, very good with Kings. That's camping season for me, guys, and I'll be taking my foot off the accelerator with YouTube for a while, guys. I'm going to have a bit of a break, I think. This getting out and bloody thinking, I've got to do a clip. I'm just going to take my foot off the accelerator for a while. So if you see me disappear for a while off YouTube, don't panic. I'm just having a bit of a break from it because wears you down after a while. I enjoy doing the live feeds, and I've always said that. I love the live feeds. Getting out and filming, I don't know, not so much anymore. Buck put 100 on Reese in the Melbourne Cup. Yeah, I know. He must be on top of the world at the moment, that young lad. He had a wonderful final series, and he's bloody wasn't a one-man show, far from it. The whole Broncos team was very, very good. But boy, oh boy, he just last night he saved 3 tries that I can remember, and he set a couple up with the ball. So enjoy life, Buck. It's not all about content with this channel. No, I know, mate. And anyway, there's YouTubers out there that Ronnie Dahl. I was watching Ronnie the other day. I haven't been watching Ronnie for a while, but even he's starting to hit it's all catching up with him too, I think. Ronnie's, when you do it as a profession, guys, which I do not, when you do it as a profession, they put a lot of pressure on themselves. When it's your income, well, it's not my income, guys. I do it as a hobby. You all know that. I do it as a hobby, and I use it as a means to maybe make some money for charity every now and then. So there is no pressure on me to do this. So anyway, I'm just not going to be doing as many clips, guys. I'll probably still do a live feed once a week and say good day to everyone and talk about current issues and all that type of stuff. But yeah, I met Tyler Thompson on the way home from camp, and he looked tired. Yeah, I don't follow Tyler, Nathan. I know who you're talking. I do know Tyler, and he looked tired. Well, there you go, mate. He's another one who does it as full time. Ty Fenwick doesn't, guys. Ty's got an earth moving business, so Ty doesn't do his as that's not his income. I think you do YouTube, and I think this is where YouTube's lost its way. Everyone, when it first started off, and I wasn't the first out there on YouTube, but as you know, I started doing YouTube when YouTube was still fairly new, and everyone did YouTube as a hobby, as a bit of fun. Well, it's lost that now, isn't it? Every second channel's out there trying to make a living off YouTube, asking people for money on Patreon. Donate, shout me a cup of coffee for this. I don't do that shit, guys. You know, when people have got to sit there and rely on people to pay them so they can keep going, go out and get a job, guys. Go and get a job. You know, the only time I ask you guys for money, you know this, is when it's for charity. And that's the only time I'll ever ask for money. There are no bloody thank you buttons on the bottom of mine and me asking, shout me a cup of coffee every month and that on Patreon. I don't do that shit and I never will. And I'm staying true to my word. This is a hobby to me, guys. So there is no pressure on me to do clips and that. So if you come on, oh, Buck, you haven't done a clip for a while. Yeah, so be it, guys. Stiff shit. Just come on and watch the live feeds and we'll talk shit on live feeds, eh? Speaking of which, I'll move on. There's someone I want to give a really special shout out to, and it is my mother. Guys, I nearly fell off my chair. Gidgey rang me last night. He said, "Are you sitting down?" I said, and I thought, shit, what's going on? I hope nothing's wrong. He said, "Mum is retiring." Mum, if you don't know, guys, is my mum, me and Gidgey's mum, is 84 years old and still nursing full time. She's been nursing for over 60 years. I think she did a nursing when she was like 19 or something, when she left school. Mum's been nursing for over 60 years, guys. She's still nursing full time at the Townsville Hospital. And Mum is finally hanging up the boots. And I've been saying to Mum for years, Mum, when it's come on, hang the boots up. And she's refused. And I think it's got to the stage now, guys, where Mum's probably gone, it's too much for me. I'm too old now. I'm struggling. And she's finally retiring. So she's been into Centrelink. And the good news is, I thought, you bastards, you better not say, oh, you're not entitled. You've got, because of their superannuation and all that. I don't know how much. I've no idea. It's none of my business. If Mum's got anything left in her super or whatever, not my business. But she went into Centrelink, Ken reckons, and she is getting an old age pension, as she should be at 84 years old. She could have got that old age pension from the time she was 67, everyone. She's punched on to 84. So if anyone deserves some of her tax money back, it's Mum. She's done the hard yards, everyone. She's nursed. She's done blue, you know, with a nurse that drives with the blue care. She used to do that in Warwick. She's nursed in country towns. She's done relieving in country towns out in Winton and places like that when she was younger. And Dad was a police officer, and we used to go out to country towns, and Dad used to be the local cop. Well, Mum would go, and she was one of the local nurses. So the good thing about a nurse, guys, it doesn't matter where you go, you'll always get work. And for any young girls out there that are thinking of a profession, I couldn't think of anything better than a nurse, if that's what you're into. They do a fantastic job, and it's one of those jobs where you'll get work anywhere you go, probably in the world. You have a look at all the overseas nurses. Mum works with a lot of Indian and Filipino girls, and she said they're wonderful. She loves the young Filipino nurses there. They look at Mum as being there, like they're always bringing in cakes and all that. And I think that's what kept Mum going back to work for so long, is not so much the job. I think it was the people she worked with, the other nurses and that. I think they were always really good. And Mum always used to come home and talk about the Indian nurses and the Filipino nurses and that. And I think that's what made Mum keep going back to work, as she used to love the young nurses. So I think they were always good to Mum. And anyway, hopefully they'll put on a couple of nice big cakes and whatever. And I just said to Roz, I said, I've got to ring Mum. I haven't spoken to Mum in person yet, but I'll ring her today after lunch and find out what she's doing. But I might have to go down and take Mum out to dinner and shout her a big bloody retirement dinner, or take her out to a nice Chinese restaurant or something, have a succulent Chinese meal. Or knowing Mum, she'll probably want to go to the Kerwin Tavern and have a countery at the Kerwin Tavern or whatever. So anyway, well done to Mum. 84 years old, hanging the boots up finally, everyone, as a nurse. How did she nurse that long? I do not know. Mum used to come back after a 10-hour shift looking like death warmed up. When I go, Mum, she'd come in at 11 o'clock at night and she'd go, I'm going for a shower. Can you make me a cuppa? I'll be out in 10 minutes or whatever. Mum would come out and she'd sit down and, oh, Mum, when are you hanging the boots up? Come on. But she'd just get up the next day and she'd go to work again. Just a tough generation of people. Tough generation. She's done a bit for the country, guys, hasn't she? She's done more than enough. So for a state, she's always nursed in Queensland. She's never nursed outside Queensland. So well done, Mum. Bloody legend. Good on you. I'm proud of her. And always proud to say that our mum worked until she was 84 as a nurse. Not many other people have done that. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to send a text. I've got Timmy Nichols, who's the medical friggin' for the government. What are they called? Minister for Health. That's what I was trying to think of. The Minister for Health. I'm going to send Timmy Nichols a text and say, mate, I just want to let you know, as the Minister for Health, there's a lady up in North Queensland that's working at the Townsville Hospital, and she's about to retire at 84 years old. So hopefully Tim can give her a shout out in Parliament or something, because I think she deserves it. How many other people work till they're 84, guys? Come on. So anyway, that's what I'll do after this live feed. I'll send Timmy Nichols a bloody thing and wanting to know. I saw something in the Townsville Bulletin the other day. There was and she got on the news. There was a nurse there, and she was retiring after 50 years, and she wasn't as old as Mum, and well done to her. But I don't want Mum to sneak out and just sneak out the back door after everything she's done. I think, yeah, the least, hopefully, even if Tim can send her a letter of thank you or something like that, I think it's the least that they can do for her. Anyway, thanks for all the comments about Mum there, guys. Another shout out, he probably won't see this because he's in hospital at the moment, is to me and Gidgey's dear cousin, Paddy Catter. Paddy is our first cousin. Paddy's mum and our dad were brother, sister. So Patrick's a year older than me, everyone. Paddy's in hospital at the moment, guys, with a crook heart. And it looks like he might have to have open heart surgery. So, Paddy, if you do see this, mate, we love you and we're thinking of you. All the best, mate. And Paddy looks after, I don't know, be careful how to say, Paddy's a carer for a disabled boy, and that. And Patrick's biggest concern was someone looking after Damien while he's in hospital. Anyway, Gidgey rang up Paddy. Said, Paddy, I'm going around, mate. I'll look after Damo for you. And because Damo kind of needs a carer, I think. So Paddy said, oh, thanks, Ken. So I can concentrate on, I'm here in hospital with a crook heart and I'm worried about Damien being by himself and that. So Gidgey's stepping up to the plate. He's going to go and live at Paddy's house and look after Damien while Paddy's in hospital. Looks like he's in for open heart surgery. So, Paddy, if you see this, mate, stay strong and good luck with everything. I'm sure you're in good hands there in the Brisbane hospitals. And I don't know. They do good work now, don't they? They know what they're doing. So, anyway, what do? Look after your health, everyone. Speaking of medical shit, guys, I started last night and I don't know, hasn't really started yet. I have started treatment on my skin cancer riddled face. All this shit, guys. It's all sun damage. Look at that. That one there. Scaly, bloody down here. So anyway, the time came where I had to do something about it, everyone. So I'm back on this stuff. This is a form of chemotherapy. It's Fluoromucil or something. I can't even say that big word. It's too big for me. Effudex is the brand of it. Effudex. And it's like form of chemotherapy. You put this on your skin, especially your face, and after about 3 or 4 weeks, your face looks like it has been hit with a flamethrower. And I've been putting it off because my just when I go like that, guys, it's just it's like a bloody sandpaper. It's just my face is just riddled with sun damaged skin. When you do that, it only lasts about 12 months and you got to redo it. And I hate doing it because it's painful. It's painful and it looks hideous. Went into the doctor the other day and said, Doc, I've got to do my face with Effudex again. So he said, there's a new thing out at the moment. He said, you use this in conjunction with this stuff. Calcipotrol or something. Calcipotrol, which is like a vitamin D cream. And I was reading up on it last night. You put the Effudex on first, let it soak in, and then you go over with a layer of that, which is like a vitamin D. And what it does is it makes the Effudex work quicker. Apparently, it's not quite as harsh on your thing, but it helps it penetrate, and you only have to use it for 4 or 5 days as opposed to 3 weeks or 2 or 3 weeks. So it works quicker, it's shorter, it means you can stop using it and then your face blisters up and all this shit hopefully goes and it works quicker. So you're not out of action for so long, guys, because when you look like you've been hit with a blowtorch, you don't want to be going into town doing the shop and everyone looks at you going, what's wrong with that bloke? So I'll be hibernating in this room for a while. You got to stay out of the sun when you're using this stuff because it is a form of chemotherapy. What it does is it penetrates and any cancerous cells in there, it will kill the cancerous cells. And this helps it penetrate better and it stops SCC, squamous cells, which are the bad cancerous ones. And I've had a lot of them cut out, guys. I've had them cut out of my corner of my eye, out of my back. Where else? I've had them cut out of my chest, everywhere. The squamous cells, they're the ones that can turn deadly into melanomas and kill you. So that there, they reckon, both of them used together, will stop squamous cells for up to 3 years. So I don't know who came up with them working together, but it's only a fairly new thing. But that's what I'm doing. I'm using both the ointments together. So probably in 4 or 5 days, you won't see me you won't see me at all. I'll be looking like I've been hit with a bloody flamethrower. But hopefully this will do a good job on my face, guys, because it's bloody horrible. Maybe then I'll need to do my shoulders or whatever. I'm going to do the V on my neck there. I've got a heap of little, and they hurt when you scratch them, little scaly sunspots all over there. So I'm going to do the V of my neck where your T-shirt is. Anyway, that's what I'm doing. I'll have a crack at my arms, but it doesn't work real good on your arms, everyone, for your face and that. Anyway, so hopefully that will work. I did use tiny little tube of Picardo gel, it was called, and he only used that for 2 days, and that was savage. That was absolutely savage. It was like at night, you're just sitting there going, like you have been hit by a bloody blowtorch. It was painful. And this stuff gets like that too. But anyway, if it's only 4 or 5 days I've got to use it, it's better than having to use it for a couple of weeks for it to work. So, yeah. Yeah, don't brush your teeth with that stuff, Bradley. That would rip the enamel and everything off your teeth. That's pretty savage stuff, this. I don't know what's in it, but it's bloody savage on skin cancers. And as I said, it is a form of chemotherapy because it penetrates your skin and kills cancerous cells. So anyway, that's what I'm going through for the next 4 or 5 days, guys, is the skin cancer treatment. Paddy Bright's been through it, guys. He just used the Effudex, and once again, Pat sent me some photos of what he looked like, and it's not nice. You don't go out in public, that's for sure. You've got to stay out of the sun because it becomes very, very sensitive to the sun. Anyway, I'm going to go too, guys. I think I've said everything I need to say. What have I been on, an hour? Yeah, that's long enough. On a Monday morning, enjoy your public holiday, everyone. Well done to Brisbane. They did the trifecta, guys. The Brisbane Lions, the girls, And the Brisbane Broncos boys, they won all the grand finals. Well done to Brisbane. That city will be on top of the world at the moment. Everyone will have a spring in their step around Brisbane. Well done. Bad luck to Melbourne Storm. I felt sorry for Harry Grant and Munster in them last night. But someone's got to win, someone's got to lose. Melbourne Storm, they've lost 2 grand finals in a row now. That's got to hurt the boys, eh? The guys that were in both those grand finals, maybe they deserve to come back and win next year, the Melbourne Storm. Who knows? Hopefully my Cowboys will be up in the finals. I know there's a lot of guys here. Paulie Martin's Manly, the boys that follow Parramatta, Newcastle, we all want our teams to do better next year. I don't expect the Cowboys to win the grand final next year, but I certainly expect them to make the 8, guys. That if you don't make the 8, it's been a failed year, I think. Roz will be wanting the Dolphins to do a little bit better. They almost made the 8, the Dolphins. Very, very went close to getting in the top 8. They're going well, the Dolphins, and they're picking up Selwyn Cobbo next year too. So they're going to be a good team again next year, the Dolphins. Don't you worry about that. Enjoy the rest of your King's holiday if you're in Queensland, guys. Enjoy your Labor Day if you're in New South Wales. Victoria, have you got any sort of public holiday? Who's in Victoria down there? Have you got a public holiday at all? Dev, see you, mate. Jared, yeah, see you, mate. Gonna do one day. See you later. Wixie, see you, mate. Gunnedah. What a bloody nice little town that was, mate. I saw the one with the poem on it. Was there an Anzac one I missed in Gunnedah? I didn't see the Anzac one, mate. Someone asked me if I dropped into Singleton Army. No, we didn't. As we're driving into Singleton on the way home, everyone, we saw the sign, Infantry Museum, 4 kilometres. So we had to turn off the thing and just to go out and see the front gate of Singleton. We didn't have time to do the museum, guys. We had Raffle with us anyway. And I thought, I'm not driving 4 Ks down and forward just to get a photo of the front gate of School of Infantry at Singleton. So, no, I didn't go in there. Lukey Reed, I didn't know you were on, Lukey. Lukey, are you home, mate? Did you get home okay on the Spirit of Tassie, or are you still in Melbourne? I'll wait for Lukey to come back. Where are you, Lukey? It's good to see you at the camp, guys. Thing. I don't know. Is Rob the Wanderer on tonight? I think Rob the Wanderer might be on tonight with his trivia. So might be a trivia night. Might see a few of you in Rob the Wanderer's trivia. Rob will start about 6 o'clock, 5:30. Trivia will start about 7:30. Right, you reckon I can Jibber? Rob leaves me for dead. Yeah, I did, Mark. We went through Scone, mate. Yes. Yeah, we went through that way. Scone, Singleton Scone, out through bloody Gunnedah, Narrabri. We had our first night at the Narrabri showgrounds and all that type of stuff. Lukey got home okay. Good stuff, mate. Well done. Yeah, we went through Scone, mate. Nice little town. All those towns through that part of New South Wales are bloody beautiful. Beautiful little towns. And I'll keep saying it. Get off the coast if you can, guys, and go out and visit these little country towns. I know Terry and Robin did on the way home as well, and pump a little bit of money into them, mate. Keep them going. These little country towns, and I'll tell you what, they got some good bakeries out there too. They got some bloody very good bakeries. We cracked it. Didn't crack it for a bad bakery at all. The one at Gameri, was it? Spot on. Ross said that bacon and cheese pie I just had was bloody beautiful. So when Ross always says it's better than a Wangan pie, you know it's a good bakery, guys. So we haven't cracked it for a bad bakery yet. Still think Penguin in Tasmania, still my favourite bakery, guys. Lukey, go to the Penguin Bakery, mate, and have a pie for me, will you? Righto, guys, enjoy the rest of your day. Thanks for tuning in. Well done, Brisbane. Well done. Bloody bring on the footy season next year. See you later, everyone. Take care. Look after yourselves. We'll see you again soon, eh?